Hello there, friends! We are opening a new season with the coolest Blast games. We are to see only the best Tier 1 CS on our screens for 10 days in a row. Let's see how some teams play with the new players, and in general we'll figure out what's going on the pro scene. Overall, a lot of interesting stuff to be discussed. Let's get straight to it. We'll start with various rumors about reshuffles. For example, Overdrive posted an interesting insight.
Если бы не Outsiders, то Кайрон мог бы оказаться в OG. Только не говорите об этом Декстеру.
That is, if this information is correct, then OG is really looking for someone to replace a certain player. I think that certain player is Fiku. The newcomers of the team show a very unstable game with them. If there are no questions about Flames and Dexter, then there are obvious problems with these guys. In general, I think after a couple of tournaments it will be clear whether OG will remain in this lineup or there will be replacements. Sanji also shared his plans. He said that his contract with Virtus.pro will end soon, and he's not going to return to the pro scene. He even writes the following: I don't want to associate myself purely with esports. Well, maybe he's just playing with the audience and in fact he's already negotiating with some team. Who knows? And now I have some very useful info for you guys. Many of you might still buy games for full price on Steam Market and play CSGO without Prime, meeting cheaters in every match. And I found a solution for you. Zelenka Guru Market. Here you can find certified Steam accounts with purchased games or Prime. It's a huge marketplace, where efficiency and fairness are verified. So you can buy whatever you want with no worries and enjoy. You can trust them. They have reviews, ratings, and even a 12-hour warranty, in case anything happens with your newly acquired account. Regardless if it's EGS, Steam, or any other. The support will answer you ASAP and will return your money if anything happens. There's also a forum where you can participate in games giveaways, discuss any sorts of questions, or simply find like-minded people. You can read reviews, learn people's opinion, and ask which VPN is the best right now. That is, learn anything you want here. Just follow the link in the description and save your own money. Thanks for watching the ad, and let's continue. Well, let's move on to the next thing. In addition to various rumors, we've got a bunch of interviews appearing. For example, the operating director of NIP told why they chose Hattrick. He is just a perfect fit for us in all the parameters that we evaluated: productivity, culture, work ethic, and so on. He speaks excellent English. He's very mature for his age and he's generally a nice guy. Hattrick corresponds to the values of our club, fit in terms of attitude to the game and overall energy. He meets many positions in our list of requirements. Besides, speaking about the level of play, it seems to me that no one can deny that Hattrick is one of the most interesting young snipers in the world. And speaking of the best players on the scene, Zaivu says that he doesn't really care who became the top one of the year again in the end. I really don't care about the ranking of hltv.org. Of course, I follow Simple because I need to look at the best players, but I do it not because he's my opponent, but because he's good, nothing more. It doesn't make sense to be put under pressure, whether I'm first or second. All I want is to beat him, and if we both play well, it will be a great match. I don't set any individual goals for myself. The main thing is to lift trophies together with the team. And according to one of the best scouts of the CIS, Roofire, it's already obvious who will become the top one. G2 and Team Liquid are the favorites of Blast Premier Spring Groups 2023. I'm waiting for another MVP medal for M0NESY, as this year he will become the top one of the HLTV's rating. I'm 100% sure. What do I think about the youth? It's my meta to take the young ones. Finally, the world and the tier 1 teams realize that youth equals success. The guys have a burning desire, a lot of time, no ego, and they are quite affordable. Friends, who do you think will be the top 1 player of this year? Can M0NESY really compete for this title, or this is just too early for the youngster? Write in the comments below. Meanwhile, some real drama unfolded in FaZe before the game. As you know, Rain will soon become a father, and in this regard he decided to take a break during the Blast. He will return before Katowice. The fans were guessing who would replace him, and all the rumors rumors boiled down to the fact that it would be Config. Plus, he himself hinted it on Twitter, but then some mess happened. At first, dicsuss stated that Olofmeister would become the replacement. At the same time, Olofmeister himself was playing Valorant on the stream, but then all of a sudden he was bombarded with personal messages from fans and he responded by saying, "I have nothing to do with this and I do not know anything. I'm traveling right now, leave me alone." Well, indeed, how many times can you turn to Olofmeister for help? Give the guy a chance to have a normal retirement. As it turned out, Blast restricted Config from playing for FaZe, although they had already agreed among themselves, and even before that, the tournament operator gave the green light to it, although all this had been changed suddenly overnight, and it all happened because he was registered on Heroic's roster for this event, and it is forbidden to be submitted for 2 teams at once. And of course, it was a complete shock for FaZe players, and it was obvious that it was no longer funny. The guys have a match in a day and they are in a race against the clock to find a 5th player. Heroic also decided to share information about what happened. The thing is, Blast requested new player lists from the teams. They had to be sent before January 3rd. Heroic did it, but they sent the list a bit later at night, and apparently Blast didn't take it and used their list from the last tournament, and that's where Heroic registered Config. The Dane himself wrote that he would gladly play for FaZe, but Blast doesn't allow. So FaZe Clan players started looking for a 5th player in a huge hurry. Kerrigan tweeted that they would consider any free agents and even the ones with 10 level on FACEIT. It is still unclear if this is all a joke, but in general the situation was very strange. As a result, a solution has been found, as Stack will play for FaZe. NIP not submitted him for Blast, but he still had a contract with them. And in theory, this does not contradict the rules. However, if FaZe meets NIP in the playoffs, then Stack will not be able to play against the team, as he has an active contract. In short, this whole problem was created for no reason whatsoever. Why not allow Config to play? That's basically it, especially since no one is against this. But Blast decided to follow principles. Well, but let's turn the page. Now we have some interesting interviews on the way. The first of them was given by Hattrick, where he told about his transition and much more. When I knew that NIP might have me, I didn't think about other teams because obviously it was a big step forward. It's tier 1 and it's a different level. I started to talk with NIP in December, it took maybe a month. Yeah, we had some meetings with the owner, the coach and other guys. They simply tried to figure me out as a person the first times, and after a few meetings I talked with the coach DJL and he asked me some questions about the game. They had been thinking about other candidates too, about his predictions on the top 20. At the beginning, when the top 20 started, I didn't even think about bold predictions. When Frozen first picked me, I felt really surprised by it, because at first I hadn't thought about it. I thought maybe M0NESY would pick me because we played before, maybe also Bit, but it was a surprise for me that Rain and Blamev picked me. Why did Hattrick leave NAVI? First of all, I didn't want to play anchor roles because I didn't feel very comfortable there. I thought about which team I should play on next, and I knew that Simple, as you said, is untouchable. He's insane and he's my idol, but I knew I needed to move forward. The guys in the main team, I tried to help them when I played for them, and they're also good people in the first place. After I knew I didn't want to play for the academy anymore because I felt I was just standing in one place and I needed to move, I spoke with my coach and I told him. After that, they put me up for a transfer, and after some months I had meetings with NIP. What about the fact that Hattrick is compared to M0NESY? Of course, especially some people are trying to compare our styles, but they need to realize that every player is an individual and they cannot be just similar players, you know? Of course, I'm trying to take the best from him and sometimes I'm asking him some stuff like all his moves, but people need to realize that not every player is a M0NESY, Simple or a Zyvo, for example. Of course, I want to reach the top 20 and I have all the chances. As a team, I think we have very good all puzzle pieces that NIP needed. I think they have now. We just need to work and try to play perfect CS, like a good game, you know? If you take the team, we have a good coach, we have good players and a good Oper now. So I think NIP has all chances to win. We will just try to play our game. Well, let's all wish the youngster only success. Today he plays against BIG and he has a great opportunity to show himself. In Navi's lineup he was given too little time. And apparently the same thing happened to SDY. As soon as he moved to Monte, he immediately began to show a great level. It's clear that this is on a tier 2-3 scene, but just look at that ace he did in the last game.
By Monte here. Young gets that first. Young. Oh! What is going on? 4 kills! Now the bomb is dropped. And Cristo has to... Oh! Nice!
The next interview was given by Nico, where he simply destroyed the current map pool. I would remove a map like Vertigo and bring Dust 2 back in. I wouldn't mind that at all. I think the map pool, in my opinion, has never been worse. But it is what it is. Dust 2, as you said, was a very good map for us, even though Hooksy wasn't playing it with Copenhagen Flames. He still managed to be very good at it, and it just sucks that they removed it. I think Anubis is fine with a couple of changes, but a map like Vertigo is finished. They have tried to work on it for so long, but it was just never nice to play. And I think it's also hard for viewers to watch the map. So yeah, it's one of my least favorite maps right now. Friends, what do you think? Is it really the worst map pool we have right now? What would you like to add or remove? Write in the comments below. And the last interesting interview we're about to discuss is the one that was given by Simple before the match with NIP during Blast. This year I will become much better than the last year. I have already changed my life by starting to do a healthy lifestyle and going to the gym, and I hope it makes me a better person. Regarding the changes in the squad, we feel more stable now, because finally, for the first time in the last 3 months, we have a player with whom we train 6 or 7 maps. Now we understand what we will do this season. What is the difference between NPL and SDY? Young is more aware when he makes mistakes, because he has a lot of experience. I think Nipple is simply better based on individual performance and aim, but his understanding of the game is still at the same level. Since NPL is young, he has a better chance of developing and understanding. Blade could teach him this faster than SDY. Well, and as for Hattrick, I like the way he plays. I liked playing with him when he was our stand-in. He can become a very strong sniper. Well, and the next thing for us to discuss today is connected with the caster, Londers. He managed to make a little fuss with the next post on Twitter. At the end of the day, IGLs are frauds. They all get carried by teenage prodigies and star operas, scribble some notes down and take all the credit. There's no team era, just bots getting carried by baiting up all-star legends. The captains immediately appeared in the comments and continued this trend. For example, Kerrigan wrote that after this tweet he has lost his job. Right, what do you think about the opinion of Londers? Let's move on. Here we have a short interview after the match between Heroic and Astralis. In case some of you are not aware yet, the meeting ended up with a 2-1 score, but in fact there was no equal fight there, since Heroic destroyed their opponents on the second and third maps with a score of 16-4. Well, as always, passions start to boil after such boring matches, and Shush told the following: "We heard that someone from Astralis called us trash after the first map, and we were like, okay, let's punish them." And oh boy, that was a hard punishment. They got humiliated 2 times with a score of 16-4. Then Tassis also added in an interview that their relationship with Astralis is not particularly good at all. Playing against Astralis is always something special. Every time we defeat them, we experience amazing sensations. It's a rivalry. We don't have the best relationship. There is a confrontation both at level of clubs and among players. There is no point of hiding it. That's life as it is. This rivalry gives extra energy and heats up the excitement before the matches. Every time I get a lot of pleasure from it. Astralis is a good team, so in most games we have an equal fight. Everything is very fun and the status of the derby adds adrenaline. Well, the latest news for today is another G2 scandal, or more precisely, the scandal is related to M0NESY. On his official group in a Russian-speaking social network vk.com, a news post was published stating that a branch of the Russian Computer Sports Federation had been opened on the territory of Lugansk People's Republic. The caption under that post stated the following: "Esports is developing." Naturally, after that, M0NESY was heavily criticized by the Ukrainian community. Vilat rolled out a whole post on Twitter where he directly addressed G2. Other well-known Ukrainian commentators and analysts joined the discussion too. After all this, M0NESY had to apologize. He shared that he had deleted the post and fired the person who made it. And now, after apologizing, the other side of the community had decided to attack attack him as well. People think that he didn't have to apologize and that he fired the group mod for nothing. So in general, M0NESY's day was not the best. He himself is in shock because of all of this. Just like when that one photo fully overshadowed G2's victory. And that's all, friends. I've shared with you all the interesting news over the past few days. Finally, I will show the results of the Blast matches to those who haven't seen it yet. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel in order to be aware of all the latest news CSGO related. See you soon.